All right, I think we're live. Like, guys, let me know if you can hear me because the USB port on the back of my computer stopped working. I thought my mic broke, but I just plugged it in. I got one other spot, so I plugged it in. So, what's the audio sounding like? Somebody in the chat, let me know. But what's up? I didn't even get really fully prepared because I spent the last 20 minutes trying to figure out why my mic wasn't showing up. So if you're here, it said 4 people were waiting, then I start. Now it says none, so or one. I'm just wondering. I don't want to get any further till I know if the audio is working. So please, let me know. So if you're here, okay. All right. I was just listening back. I realized I could listen back. So yeah, this is going to be a Juice Opinions. I'm not sharing my screen, so I'm trying to get used to having stuff on my main monitor that I'm looking at. Usually I have it off to the side. So yeah, I'm not sharing my screen at all. Just have my webcam full screen. So try doing that for the first time in a long time. I think. Got the PS5 box here. Got my Mithra and Pyra behind me. The chat's probably gonna be a little hard to read on the white background, so I'm gonna leave it up though. So anyway, this is gonna be a kind of a video response, Juice Opinions. I'm gonna be responding to Retro Death, and yeah, Retro's here. He missed my Days Gone streams. I'm gonna be streaming Resident Evil demo in a couple hours too, so you're gonna have a lot of Terminator juice today. So this is a response to Retro Death's video, which was a response to Clocked video. It's not really a response because my response is I've never not beaten a game I loved. So that's my response officially. But I am going to do a spin-off and talk about the games that I own that I haven't finished. I don't have them all anymore. Some of them I traded in or sold or lost. Or not lost, but just, I don't know, somehow. I don't know what happened to over the years when I was younger. A couple games disappeared like a Sight Bike 64. I don't know where that ended up, but Metroid Prime Hunters, I think I traded it in. I don't remember. The other is going to be kind of a response to Red Knight, AGL. I want to discuss kind of why I don't really follow or support channels that are dedicated to, not totally dedicated, but spend a lot of time just hating on one console versus the other, or fanboying over one console or the other. I no longer subscribe to Nintendo fans that I deem defendos that just can't call out Nintendo for BS, that just kind of trying to ride the Switch's hype and kind of I don't know the word I'm looking for, but just kind of basically throwing any criticisms, and just basically acting happy and excited about everything. I don't subscribe to those. I've never been subscribed to a PlayStation channel ever. I've never been subscribed to the official PlayStation YouTube channel, but we'll get into that. I want to discuss a lot there. So let's start. Retro, I know you're here. Clocked made a video a while back. I replied. I tried to come up with some games that I liked enough where I didn't just stop playing because I just hated them. And I would call it scraping the barrel. I came up with Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, and Gradius 2 Life Force. I forgot about Punch Out. And those are decent games. Those are good games. I didn't love any of them. But I didn't own Ninja Gaiden 1 or 2 or Life Force. And, they're just hard games, and just played them, when I at a friend's house or somewhere, that somebody who had those games. And I thought I liked them, but when I replayed Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3, the original NES games, I think they were hidden in the Xbox Ninja Gaiden game, I realized I really don't love those games. They're absolute trash in many regards. So who cares about them? But I did, as a young young gamer back, you know, when I was 10, 12 years old. I thought they were good. Just never finished them. So I would say Punch Out is probably the game I like the most that I've never beaten. I got it on the Wii U Virtual Console a couple years, you know, many years ago now, probably like 6 years, and I got pretty decent at it, and I gave it my all. Like, I can't remember where I got to. I think it was the second time you face, I forget his name, and he destroyed me. And I think he's right before Mr. Dream, which was Mike Tyson. Every game you buy in order. Who said that? Who said that they play games in order? I'm looking. Instantly complete every game you buy in order and shit. No one said that. Who said instantly beat games in order? I rarely beat games in the order that I get them. You know, I bought last year, I bought Ori first, and I finished it. I might have beat it before The Last of Us 2, but I definitely beat it after Doom Eternal. So that's just a recent example. So here I have a collection of physical games. There's some digital games too, which I'll try to remember to mention. So my first category is still in the cellophane. So these are games I own that I never took out of the plastic, believe it or not. Yeah, I don't just buy a game, stick with it, and finish it. That's not true at all. Unless I'm trying to get it done for the end of the year Game of the Year podcast. I started Days Gone, in December, and I'm still working on it. So typical retro death assumptions and exaggerations. But so here's my list, or here's the 3 games that I bought and I never opened. And there's a Resident Evil story in this game right here. Devil May Cry 4, still in the plastic. Got it at Toys R Us. It's a Platinum Hits version. Toys R Us had a buy one game, get a second game for $40. And the other games also in this list. Instead, I was going to buy Resident Evil 5. Never did. I'm going to talk about that when I'm playing Resident Evil 8. So never opened it. Obviously, I didn't beat it. Never started it. Never played it. The only Devil May Cry game I've ever played is Devil May Cry 5. So the next game, still in the cellophane, is codenamed Steam. I got kind of talked into being excited for this game. That I didn't love the demo, but I pre-ordered it, picked it up, and I was like, I'll just return it. I'm not going to open it. And then to this day, I just still haven't opened it. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping someday it's going to be rare and worth a lot of money. So the last game in this category is Star Fox Guard. I couldn't give 2 shits about this game. Nothing I've seen from anybody playing it looked like anything I want to play. I really like Star Fox Zero, though. I beat that. So, and then this one's not still in the cellophane, but never played it. I bought it at a used game shop for... I thought I had the receipt in here. I could still play this someday. Mad World on the Wii. I never played it. I bought it used. I want to say it was like $7 or something. So just you know, obviously Star Fox Guard came with. I wouldn't have bought it. I intended on playing Devil May Cry 4. It's probably a good game. Maybe when I get my Series X, maybe I'll put it in and try it. And then codename Steam. Like I said, I'm just going to hold on to it, leave it sealed, and maybe someday it'll be rare and worth a lot of money. So, yeah, I agree. It's a capable tie, 100%. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to give my take. So next is the games I played a little bit and was like, nope, not for me. I'm not beating this shit. I'm not even playing this shit any longer. So, not because it was trash or a bad game or bad, poorly made game, but I just wasn't in the mood. And, I could still finish these games. Or there's one, I think there's only maybe 2 in here that maybe someday. But Watch Dogs 2, and these aren't in any kind of order. I was going to do it like in order, but I got probably a couple hours in, and I was just like, man, this just really feels like they're trying to be GTA, and I wasn't in the mood for that type of game. Keep GTA in mind for later. And I was like, just not feeling it. I bought it with Horizon Zero Dawn and ARMS, so I played a lot of ARMS, almost 100 hours, and put like 40 hours in Horizon. The next one I got for Christmas, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. All I heard was how amazing this game is. I'm on Xbox Live. I'm chatting with my buddies that I made, friends I made, playing Project Gotham Racing, Project Gotham Racing 2. Oh, you got to try this game. And all I heard was how amazing Knights of the Old Republic is. I was a Star Wars fan back then. Asked for it for Christmas. I'm going to say I got an hour, maybe 2. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. Not for me. Never played it again. I only played it the one time, however long I played it that first session. Next up, same reason, Xbox Live. All these guys were talking about Rainbow Six 3. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's like GoldenEye but online. We talk about quick resume and suspending games. You want to talk about waiting to install games. Waiting to start a match in this game was like installing a game is today. It was like 2-3 minutes for to get everybody together, load the map, get everybody synchronized and start. And it was like 2 bullet kill. You die, you're done. You gotta sit there and watch your team. And if they went for 20 minutes, they went for 20 minutes. If they all died, then you had another load screen to get back to the menu, and then get everybody together, another 3-4 minutes to get back into the game. I was like, fuck this. I tried the single player, I think, once. Just absolutely trash. Not for me. So that's 2 Ubisoft games out of 3 so far. So the next one, clocked it if you're here. This is very fitting. Shadow Man on the Nintendo 64. Box is still in pretty good condition. It's got a little bit of a crease. You can't really see it, but I started playing this game. I was like, I'm not loving the controls. Do I have the manual? Yeah. I wasn't loving the controls. I fucking got lost. Everything looked the same. Want to talk about complete in box? Look at this. Product registration. Consumer information. I got the booklet in absolute mint condition. Anybody interested in Shadow Man? Revolt ad on the back. So yeah, now that Digital Foundry made a video about it, it wasn't a good game. I'm sorry, it just wasn't a good game in my opinion. I gotta get this back in the box. Oh, there's some more. Oh, it's a map. I do remember opening that, and that's in mint condition as well. Game cartridge. Try to get some light reflecting off it. It's in mint condition though. So yeah, this is the first. Well, this isn't the first, but it's the first Nintendo game. It's not really a Nintendo game, but the first on a Nintendo system where I started and didn't. Because back then, I didn't buy a lot of games, so I usually stuck with the ones I had and played them, whether I loved them or not, but this one wasn't for me. The next one, I don't know why I bought this. I didn't really like this genre. Wipeout 64. Honestly, I don't think I put an hour in this game. maybe an hour or 2. Yeah, it's not my genre. Just like F-Zero, F-Zero is way better in my opinion, but I'm not a big F-Zero fan either. So let's see. Let's get to the companion to Devil May Cry 4. The other game I got in that buy one get one for 40 is Lost Planet. So Capcom, you're 0 for 2 on that. It was okay. It kind of blew my mind visually when I first started playing it, but And it says not for resale. Actually, you know what? I'm trying to remember if this was counted as one game or two. Were these together? Was this considered one? Oh, yeah, that's what it was. These two were considered one. That's why I ended up with these games. I don't remember what the actual other game was, though. I think these two were grouped together. That's why I say not for resale. So that was considered one game, and I'll have to think if I even took advantage of the sale. I might have just ended up buying those. But anyway, didn't care for the game. Next one, less than an hour in, BioShock 2. So I had a resurgence late in the 360's life. I started playing Dead Space pretty far into the generation, and I ended up finishing it twice. And on my third playthrough, I got to the very right towards the end. Love that game, so I was like, I'm gonna get Dead Space 2. I'm gonna buy BioShock 2. I'm gonna buy Gears of War 3. I bought all those, and I finished Gears of War 3. It took me a long time. Just bored with that whole gameplay style. And BioShock 2 was just like, they really just copy and paste like the first game, and it wasn't even the same team that made the first game, and it was like the Batman Arkham Origins situation where they were just kind of, it might be a decent game, but I didn't stick with it. So the next one is a Wii U game. Believe it or not, you would assume that because of the lack of games on Wii U, that every one I bought I would have played. Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. I got this late. I bought it with Wonderful One around the time I got Wonderful 101. It was cheap. I don't remember. It was under $20, I want to say. I liked Batman Arkham Asylum. Played it on the PS3. And you guys this is gonna sound typical of me. I played this after Bayonetta 2. So Bayonetta 2, 40 to 60 frames per second game, really great combat system, and I go to this stupid. Now I don't like this battle system. I thought I liked it until I played a better games. Just terrible fucking frame rate in areas. Like, it was just, it wasn't unplayable because of how the combat system works, but man, it felt sluggish. The combat just felt button mashy, and I don't even know. I should boot it up on the Wii U and see how much time I'm gonna guess I had 2 hours. I think I was trying to get Penguin, and there was like a puzzle I couldn't figure out. So, and then the last one of the barely played and didn't finish is, I forgot to get it out. It's in a double pack. It is, which one is this? Oh, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Oops, going the wrong way. So, came to Xbox late. I want to know what all the fuss was about. I didn't have a PlayStation 2 and never played it. And I started with 3, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And I just got fed up with 3, so I was like, well, let me put Vice City in, and maybe they've fixed some of the issues I have. Opening cutscenes, introducing the character. I think you pick him up from an airport, and I was like, I'm done. That's it. I barely played. So next up are the games that I put a good amount of time in and just either got bored or just realized, I wasn't really having fun, or just it was too difficult or too easy, So we'll just stick with, since I was just talking about it, Grand Theft Auto 3. I played a good amount of this game, and I liked it at first. And on Xbox, you could have your custom audio. So I ripped a bunch of songs to the hard drive, and here's what the double pack looked like on Xbox. That's the original. I had listened to my music and driving around, and I'm like, all right, got my hard rock on there, got my Chevelle, my Deftones, my Korn, and it just got to a point where I was like doing the same missions over and over, and the police AI was just so stupid. The cars were just piling up, they're running over everybody. It was stupid, and I lost what do you call it, the lunar disconnect or whatever dissidence, it became too apparent that this is just really bad AI, and I couldn't enjoy the game anymore. I couldn't enjoy the chases anymore. The driving was terrible. The controls sucked. I absolutely struggled. And I just said, you know what? I think I had all the areas opened. I'm just done. I'm just done. That's when I tried Vice City, and I was like, nope, same shit. I'm done. So, all right. So we'll go to a game that was just ridiculously hard, and I wasn't having fun. Beautiful Joe, Double Trouble on the DS. I couldn't tell you how far I got. I just know I got to a point where I'm just like trying to do these moves. I think use the touch screen or something, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not having fun anymore. And I put it down, and I've never picked it up since. So whenever this came out, within a year after it came out, was the last time I played it. Maybe for shits and giggles, I'll pop it in my 3DS one day, and just see if I can play through it. The next one was just too damn easy. Kirby's Epic Yarn. I was so fucking bored. Just collecting everything, just going through the stages. I wasn't challenged whatsoever. It looked good. By the time I got this, though, was late in the Wii generation. It might have even been right before the Wii U came out, or before Rainbow Curse came out. It might have been after the Wii U came out. Actually, I played it on the Wii U. By then, I know the art style is really good and stuff. I've never been a huge Kirby fan anyway. It was just too easy, but I wasn't wowed by the visuals either, because at that point I'd already seen Wii U games and stuff, and I think a lot of people were sucked into the art style of that game. If you like it, you like it, though. I mean, it just wasn't for me. So let's go to since Retro's here, let's go to the cream de la crop. The cream de the crap. Metroid Other M, another one that I played on Wii U. I got late, and it was new. It was cheap, though. I think it was like $20. The manual's literally untouched. Ooh, Samurai Warriors 3. There we go. There's a series that I don't know why still exists. It's like they just keep getting sequels. Like somebody asked that question last week, and I meant to say that game. But anyway, Other M was just trash. I got to the Ridley fight. I don't know how far that is. And I'm like, this game's garbage. I remember there was a spot where you have to jump up, like there's like a cylinder, some kind of machine or something. And it was the, what's that Sony platformer? Little Big Planet problem, where you'd hold to the left. It's 2D view with no camera controls, but you could come towards the screen and go away from the screen. And the ledges were at a certain depth that you couldn't even tell. It was just fucking stupid. And after struggling with that, and then the boss fight where you can't move and you're shooting, I was done. Absolutely done. So Ubisoft, here's another one. How many does that make now for Ubisoft? We had Watch Dogs 2. Was there another? Yeah, the Rainbow Six one. So Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I got pretty far in this. I'm going to guess like 12, 15 hours. And I was just like, I just don't care. I took a break, and then I came back, couldn't do the ship battles. I couldn't remember what the hell to do. So the next one is the most played game on all these. The one I played the most that I didn't finish. Grand Theft Auto 5. So that's 3 Grand Theft Auto games. And it has a story that was decent. I did like the heist and then got a bunch of money so I could buy some jets and fly around. And then when I got bored with flying around, I was done. I tried the online with some guy that was obsessed with it at work, this kid. And it was stupid. And yeah, I'll probably never finish. So that was the most played one. Here's another one. I played the New Order, Wolfenstein. Pretty far, actually. I was watching, I think Girlfriend's Reviews was playing it. And I was like, oh, I was to that spot. I didn't realize I got that far in the game. But I'm going to guess like maybe halfway. But it's just a Call of Duty clone, single-player Call of Duty, not a multiplayer. And I wasn't feeling it. And I didn't know it was a PS3 game. I thought it was a PS4 game. So, I mean, running at at a lock solid 60 and at a higher resolution, but it was just kind of an ugly game, and it was graphics horny, but it just wasn't that fun either. I just wasn't having that much fun. So the last one I just saved because I also want to touch upon one other, a completely separate topic. So Turok Dinosaur Hunter. As you can see, I don't have the game case. I never bought this game. This just ended up in my collection when my friends and I, went our separate ways. As going to college and stuff, I ended up with this game in the booklet. I don't remember I owned it until years ago. Years later, I looked in my, how do I have Turok? So I don't have the box art. And one of the things I just real quick want to ask you guys how you feel. If you don't have the box to a game, and I know T's going to laugh at this, maybe even clocked it. If I don't have the box of the game, I really barely even consider that I own this game. Like it's off in the back, in the corner, in the basement to me compared to all the games I have. I have another one like this. It is Metroid Zero Mission, another game I didn't buy. My buddy, I gave him my fucking Dreamcast, so I figured I could keep a Game Boy Advance game. But to me, my mental mind and retro, you can't even challenge this because you have a lot of weird little rules. The fact that I don't have this in a case, you'll rarely hear me even mention I own it because in my mind, I really don't even feel like I do. Not only because I didn't buy it, that's part of it, but also if I had it in the box, I would consider that I own the game. It just doesn't feel the same to me not having the game box. So yeah, that is my list of physical games that I own and didn't finish. Some of the digital ones, Xenoblade Chronicles, I got 10 hours into that, didn't finish it. Punch Out on the Wii, I played it for an hour or two, didn't finish it. Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii U, I played that for an hour. Resident Evil Revelations 1 on the Switch, I probably got about 80% through that game, and I just this game's not that good. I hate the whole episodic thing. It really feels like a handheld 3DS game with limiting and clunky character animations, and and plus I got to a point where I had low ammo and stuff, and this really tough enemy, and I'm like, I can't go back anywhere. I can't go get ammo. I'm kind of fucked. I have to start the game over. And I just I'm done. And then Revelations 2, which I actually liked way more than Revelations 1. I feel like I got between 50 and 75% through that game. I know there's others. I mean, I started Tearaway on the PS4. I can't say that I haven't beat it because I just tried it a month ago. I may never finish it. Days Gone, I may never finish the game, but that's too early to say. I can't put those in the list. Resident Evil 0 on the GameCube. I rented that, and I was bored. Stopped playing it. I was really excited because Resident Evil Remake was so good. Resident Evil 4 was coming out, and Resident Evil 0, I can't remember which one. If 4 came out before 0, and I wasn't interested in keep playing it. And then there's a bunch of other games I rented, not even worth mentioning, that I just didn't care for. So, yeah, I literally don't. I believe everybody that says, there's games they love and they don't beat. But for me, if Retro and Clocked It hadn't said that, I would never imagine somebody would ever utter the words, games I absolutely love but never beat. It didn't. I couldn't even comprehend that initially, because for me, if I like a game a lot, I'm gonna beat it. If I love a game, I'm gonna beat it, and I'm gonna start a second playthrough. But I've also beaten games I didn't love, like Ratchet and Clank Remake. Finished it, didn't love it. There's been a lot of games that I've beaten that I didn't love. So it doesn't mean if I've beaten it that I loved it. But if I love it, I've finished every single game. I see no reason. Retro Deaths, I want to stay in that world. Well, that's called the second playthrough. That's called keep grinding in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for 300 hours after you beat it, because you get new ability near the end of the game that now you can it helps you take on these really tough enemies, and now you can be fighting all these badass high level bosses where at max level and getting these ridiculous combos. So you're still in the world. It doesn't stop existing because you beat the game. Some games you beat them and it's like, you know. But like Breath of the Wild, I beat Ganon, and then I went back, got all 120 shrines, and put, you know, I want to say it was before my second playthrough. I was close to 180, 200 hours probably. Because I did the second playthrough, then I did the DLC, so probably 120, 150 hours on my first playthrough. I beat Ganon at like 80 hours, 100 hours, you know, so I played it a lot after that. But anyway, just for me, it's just, if I love a game, I'm going to finish it. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. I can't think of a scenario where I wouldn't finish a game I loved. I guess unless a save file got corrupted and I'd have to start all the way over. But even then, if I love the game, I'm more than likely going to start over. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is, and Red Knight is kind of the focus for why I'm bringing this up. A few years ago, he got an Xbox and he just went all in with Xbox, which is fine. He loved the One X. I know people that have it. They really like it. It's a good system. And then basically, I don't know, simultaneously or right around the same time, became a Sony hater. Just always it feels very focused on picking apart Sony and PlayStation instead of just enjoying. And I asked, I was like, why do you care so much? He had a long reply, which I didn't even know. I didn't get a notification on YouTube until somebody else replied yesterday, and I saw it, and I'm just like, all right, let me talk about this. Because a major thing people need to know about me is, I said it earlier when I was kind of laying out what I was going to talk about. I've never subscribed to a Sony-centric, PlayStation-centric YouTube channel in my life. I've never even been subscribed to their official PlayStation YouTube channel. You'd think, why not? I just don't care enough. I don't care enough about them. I don't care enough about Xbox. I was watching Next Gen 720 podcast for a while just because there's a bunch of dudes being ridiculous, laughing, shit talking all three companies, having fanboys of all, not really Nintendo fans, except for when Emperor, whatever, I forget his name, starts with the B, I'm drawing a blank, when he was on. But that's the closest thing, and I haven't listened to one of their podcasts this year, period. So I've never been subscribed to Microsoft or Xbox's YouTube channel, PlayStation's YouTube channel, or a single person who was exclusively Xbox or PlayStation, whether they were fanboys or hating on the other companies. And now I'm not subscribed to any Nintendo channels that are solely focused on blowing smoke up Nintendo's ass, or our ass, and kissing Nintendo's ass. I just can't, it just doesn't work for me to have somebody either just blindly hating or blindly loving any company. And I grew up on Nintendo. Nintendo made me a gamer. I truly just don't care enough about PlayStation or Xbox to make videos about them. Because Nintendo fans are calling me out. Well, you're criticizing Nintendo and their output, but you ain't saying nothing about Microsoft's output. Like, well, we say it in passing on the podcast here and there. I'm not going to make a video about Microsoft's lack of games output because I just don't care about Microsoft. I'm not going to make videos about Sony's whatever decisions they make shutting down the PS3 store or whatever. I just don't care enough. It doesn't hurt me or bother me when they do things like it does when Nintendo does something or doesn't do something. It's like, I just don't care about those companies that way. I never have, and I never will. I'm just, I got 8 people now watching this, and if you're watching this on the replay, please go through my video history. How many PlayStation 4 videos have I made praising PlayStation since 2016 when I got the PS4? In 2019, I got a PS4 Pro. I made a video about HDR because it was playing games in HDR. That was right after I got my TV. Just was so impressive. I was so inspired and blown away by the drastic change HDR makes to gaming. That's the closest thing you got to me, like And it just happened to be on the PlayStation 4 Pro. If I had this Xbox One X, I would have done the same video. I just don't care enough to make videos like that. So when somebody's going to continually make videos trying to sell me on one company and hating on the other, I'm out. I just have no interest in that. I'm always game to criticize Nintendo for their games output because it still bothers me. Unless something amazing gets shown at E3 this year for the second half of the year, I just can't accept that the game output that's been coming from Nintendo. So I'll gladly talk about that. And I know people have left my channel and unsubscribed because I focused on that more than they thought, and that's probably true. But what else am I going to talk about? I just don't care enough about PlayStation or Xbox to talk about them very much. It's just the way it is. So on the podcast over the years, I've criticized Microsoft's E3s, the last couple before it got shut down. I ripped Sony's E3 in 2015. That snooze fest, that 2.5 hour, 3 hour snooze fest, I ripped the shit out of them. I hated the way they did the presentations with the arrogant CEOs coming out. I forget the dude's name. I never liked that shit. We've criticized Microsoft's game output here and there in the podcast, but how many videos have I made hating on Xbox because I have a PS4 Pro and I liked it? How many videos did I make about telling you guys how I felt about the PlayStation 4 or the Pro? How many of you here watching this know that the PS4 Pro is my favorite non-Nintendo console of all time? Or it's neck and neck with the 360? How many of you knew that until just now? How many times have I ever made a video telling you about how great the PS4 Pro is and why I love it so much and why the Xbox sucks? How many? I'm going to tell you right now, 0. I just don't care enough. PS4 Pro is just a solid system. The UI's good. And it was my main platform. Third-party games, just like with the 360, it was the lead platform for multi-plat development. So you didn't have to worry about games running well versus the competition. In most cases, the PS4 Pro version ran very comparable to the Xbox One X, even though it was way more powerful. There was examples where it was a decent gap, but rarely. In some cases, the PS4 Pro version ran better because it was the lead platform. So just like with the 360, the PS4 was my main console of choice for third-party multiplats because I had it, and I knew I was going to get the good version of the game. When I got my Xbox One S in 2018, I tried buying a couple multiplats. Titanfall 2, which is another game I never finished, by the way. It was fine, but then Trials Rising, it ran like poo-poo on a couple stages. It was like I was so disappointed. I never bought another multiplat for the Xbox One after that. It's a nice small console. When it's running, it's fairly quiet. When it's turned off, it makes annoying noise. The hard drive's constantly spinning and stuff. I didn't make a 180 on the idea of remasters going from Wii U to Switch. Yeah, I didn't change. I've been on them I was the first one. You want to talk about taking credit and predicting? I was the first person in the Nintendo community that I know, I don't follow everybody obviously, that called out Nintendo in like January 2018 for the amount of ports that were announced. And I stayed true to that. I don't change. I will say, and I'm sure some people are going to want to call me a pony, a remastered version, barely remastered, 2013 game on Switch for $60 is worse by a long shot than a remake of a 2013 game coming to PS5 if The Last of Us remake's true. I assume it'll be $70. If they try to sell it as a new game, it'll be $70. Maybe they won't, but maybe they will. Even if The Last of Us is a remake, looks as good as like Demon Souls, and I don't know what other changes they might make, and it's $70, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to call them out for it. But that's still better than Pikmin 3 Deluxe for $60, running at, I think, the same exact resolution, and even looking a little bit worse in areas with a few additions of some minor content additions. That's worse to me. Games came out in the same year. Pikmin 3 is actually newer. New Super Mario Brothers U, yeah, they added Luigi U, $60. That's worse to me than remaking a game like Demon Souls. I don't really have a problem with Demon Souls, other than it's not a game I care about. Look at the jump between Demon Souls on PS3 to PS5. It's significant. Look at the visual jump. Look at now it runs at 60. Instant loading cuts down. One of the biggest complaints people had about the game, if not the biggest complaint, is the loading after you die. It makes it a much better experience. What does this game on Switch do? So anyway, so would you subscribe to a channel of PS and Xbox if they handled their channel the way you do for Nintendo? I wouldn't subscribe to any PlayStation or Xbox guy, period. Guy or gal. I've never been subscribed to any Xbox or PlayStation channel, ever. Maybe I watched reviews for the Series X and PS5, and I could tell, hey, this person's a PlayStation-centric channel. This guy's a fanboy. But so I took that into account when I'm listening to the review before, back when the systems came out. I'm like, I'm not going to be subscribed to this guy. So I can't answer that question. I just don't care enough. Honestly, I just don't care enough. Yeah, I've enjoyed the PS4 and the exclusives that they put out, and obviously the multi-plats. Some of my favorite games of the 8th generation: Immortals, Control, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Forza Horizon 4. That's two for Xbox, two for Sony, or that's two are Xbox Studios exclusives. Not exclusive. Ori's not exclusive to it's on Switch, but so some of my favorite games were on actually both systems, even though I played Ori mostly on PC, and same with Forza. But the point is, there's been a bunch of good games that I liked. Resident Evil 2, like I said, Control, Immortals. I have my list. Doom Eternal. It's a third-party box that I know they're gonna play the games well, and there's some good exclusives like God of War, Last of Us Part 2. Gravity Rush 2 was the main reason I wanted to get a PS4. So it just had a slight advantage. But because I have a PS5 now, am I been shitting on Xbox? Out of the Juices Loose podcast, if Red Knights watch this, you say you listen to these. Who was the first one? Me and somebody else. Me and Mr. T, actually, were the first ones praising the Series X at the Game Awards. We were excited for it. I've never said anything negative about the Series X hardware. I was the first person. I made a podcast, uncomfortable podcast, where I'm sitting there explaining Quick Resume and getting nothing but flack from the other guys because T wasn't there, trying to downplay Quick Resume. Here I am just trying to sell it because I think it's an amazing feature. I'm in the Discord arguing with Defendos about it. That's what I'm not going to just blindly hate on that. I've been all for the backwards compatibility. I've always said that. I commend them for that. Commend them for the Quick Resume and the hardware. Game Pass, on the other hand, it's just not for me. Maybe someday I'll pick it up for a couple months, like I do with like Amazon Prime. I get that when there's shows to watch, and then I cancel it. That's how I handle Game Pass. But the point is I have a PS5. You see the box there. I haven't made one video shitting on the Xbox brand, talking about the lack of games. Yeah, we brought that up in different podcasts here and there. But I'm not sitting here making dedicated videos or posts breaking down the bad last 3-4 years from Xbox Game Studios. How many times have I made a list showing State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3, Grounded? Sea of Thieves had kind of a second life, but initially was hated on. Bleeding Edge. Like, those games are all misfires. Well, Sea of Thieves is, like I said, it has a second life. It seems to have rebounded. Quantum Break, didn't really do that well. Uh, Other than Forza Horizon 4 and Ori and the Will of the Wisp in the last 5 years, like, Gears 5, it's a solid game. I don't care for it, but it's a solid game. I have it. I plan on finishing it, or at least trying to finish it when I get a Series X. I just can't roll with well, I own a PlayStation now. I have to hate on Xbox, or I have an Xbox now. I have to hate on Sony. I just don't. That's not me. I can't roll with that. And if you do, I can't follow. I just can't stay subscribed or can't stay interested in somebody who's just spends so much energy hating on stuff. There's some factual things in there. There's issues. Like my PS5 has the coil wind. If I have the headset on when I'm live streaming and my right ear's open, I can hear it. I can't hear it over my game audio with my surround sound on, but that sucks. We'll see. I was even thinking about calling I don't know what the options are, if they're even covering that or anything, but it's not so loud that it's like, it's not as loud as, any louder than my 360 when I hook that back up. It's showing no data. There it goes. When I hooked my 360 back up, that was louder than my PS5. So, it's not a deal breaker. The other thing, they haven't activated the internal storage. Oh, I haven't run out of space, but if somebody does, I guess, it sucks that they don't have the option to go out and spend money. But I think I talked about it in my Days Gone live stream on that I'd rather wait for a M.2 drive to be activated via an update and be able to go out and buy a Samsung or a ADATA or any brand I want and have them price compete for a terabyte, probably $80 to $100, I'm guessing, versus $220 for the Xbox One. How many times have I brought that up? Like once. Like that's a shitty deal. You got to spend $220 to get more memory in your console. There's no other option. That sucks. But I don't harp on it. I don't bring it up. I don't post about it. I'm on Twitter a lot, sharing screenshots, and every once in a while I'll call something out. I just really don't care that much unless it's Nintendo. Nintendo's my, that's the one I care about. When they do good, I'm happy. When they do bad, it makes me angry, upset, or sad, or depressed. When Nintendo's not killing it with games output, my just passion for gaming goes down, period. It's like my happiness in gaming is tied a lot to Nintendo. And it just sucks. Luckily, I found some really amazing enjoyment in some third-party games in the last couple of years. Got me through it. I'm looking forward to hopefully Returnal. If it gets good reviews, I'm probably going to pick it up. I'll be playing the Resident Evil 8 demo later. If I like that, I'm going to pick that up. It's $59.99. It has a $60 version and a $70 version on both Xbox and PlayStation. So, I know some people don't like the middle road. I'm not a big fan of taking the middle when there's like a clear two sides, and I don't do that, just like the port situation. I'll read your comment in a second, Screwface. I'm pretty hard line with it when it comes to the ports, late ports, full price, and all that. There's really no middle ground, in my opinion. But in general, in life, and especially in politics, the person who kind of hangs in the middle, not on the extreme sides, is generally that's generally the path we should be taking. But you got two extreme sides yelling at each other and getting nothing done, and it feels like the people in the middle, then they're getting accused of not caring enough, and it's just, in politics and gaming, it's just bullshit. But one of my favorite games of 2019 was Control, and I called them out on multiple occasions, podcasts and separate videos, for reselling that game and locking the upgrade to PS5 and Series X behind the Ultimate Edition. That really pissed me off. I love that game. I turned it on. I installed it on my PS5, and I'm like, damn. After playing some Immortals and Astro's Playroom and Final Fantasy VII and Days Gone, Control looks pretty bad without any kind of update. It's 1080p and it's not. It's yeah, it's their upscaling techniques doesn't look that great. I would love to have the PS5 upgrade. I would probably start playing that game more. But anyway, so Screwface, you asked about the if I'd subscribe to somebody, if they were like me. So if they handle their channel the way you do for Nintendo, then they would treat Nintendo the way you do for PlayStation, Xbox, and maybe you could follow them for PlayStation, Xbox stuff. I get what you're saying. I just don't care enough about Xbox and PlayStation stuff. You know, somebody might find that hard to believe with my PlayStation 5 box sitting there and my PS4 collection being, I think it's officially now the largest physical collection I've ever had for one system, just past the Wii U and the 360. I think they're all right around 21, 22 games. I have to recount, but and then do I count PS5 games? Because I kind of, from this point forward, like Resident Evil Village, I'm going to buy the PS5 version. So does that count? Probably not. I might end up buying like Ghost of Tsushima or something if it doesn't hit PlayStation Plus. So that could grow. But I just wonder how many of you knew that my largest physical game collection was on the PS4. I don't buy a lot of games. I know Ms. T doesn't understand. Even clocked it and stuff. They don't quite understand. I've always been this way. It started because all my friends around me, we all bought different games so that we weren't duplicating, so we could all play each other's games. I had small collections then. Like N64, there's a bunch of games I didn't buy because my friends bought that, so I didn't have to buy it. And then when I started collecting for myself with the Dreamcast, which I had a good-sized collection, traded a lot of them in to help a friend out so he could get a GameCube, and I regret that, and then I don't have the system anymore. But as far as the systems I have right now, the games I have, physical games I have right now, it's Wii U and 360. I think we're both at like 21 physical games. And then the PS4, I think I'm at 22 now, physical. And then I have a couple digital. So anyway, the point is, I have all those games. My largest physical collection is for PlayStation 4. How many of you knew that? And how many times have I like brought it up like in a way that's like to shit on Xbox or something? Like I just can't be like that. Like it's just not who I am, I guess. You guys got to keep I'm going to have to mute this chat here. I'm going to wrap this up cuz I'm going to get ready to play Resident Evil Village demo. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now. I hope that makes sense, but I just reiterate, I just don't care enough about PlayStation and Xbox to follow people that's their main thing, and I don't care enough to hate on any of these companies enough to like make videos, separate videos or posts about. And when somebody's doing that, it doesn't work for me. So that's all it is. I got Game Pass not Game Pass. I've had Game Pass for 3-4 times now. And, talk about not finishing games. I never finished a single game I downloaded. PlayStation Plus, I picked it up because I got the PS5 and I wanted, one of the main reasons was, Control hit the month before, and I'm like, damn, games like Control are on there. I wanted to try. I've never had PlayStation Plus for 4 years with the PS4. Never had PlayStation Plus. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. I want to see, there's some games, free games. The cloud save thing, I didn't need it for cloud saving because USB works just as easy. But I was like, let me try like the Destruction All Stars game, which I haven't played yet. I just want to see if it's worth it from a personal experience. I had Game Pass 3-4 times, so I got to test that. I have yet to finish Final Fantasy VII. I may never. I don't know. So maybe once I have a year of PlayStation Plus, I'll be like, that's not worth it. Or I may be like, yeah, that was okay. I don't need it. But, I played enough games Like Oddworld Soulstorm. Played that with Terrell using SharePlay, and I was like, that's a pretty fun game. Clocked it, and Retro tried to argue with me on it, but I'm sitting there playing it and then watching Terrell play it. And I'm like, man, this level design feels straight out of Trials Evolution, like the Inferno level. It doesn't, gameplay wise isn't the same, but just the way the level was structured. I was like, I did not anticipate that, like got these checkpoints, you got these challenging sections, you die a bunch of times, you restart right there, right before the part that kills you. There's a nice checkpoint right there. And you got all this explosions, you got shit falling, and then the world, you're on a 2D plane in a 3D environment, and then it like turns, the path turns just like Trials. I have over 120 hours playing Trials games. So, I mean, it's just for me, that's what it made me think of. But I would have never played that game. And you can say, well, Game Pass has way more games. Well, Game Pass is $180 a year. And PlayStation Plus was $60. And I'll try it. If I don't like it, I won't get it next time, like it's not that big of a deal. If I end up finishing Final Fantasy VII, I'm playing Days Gone. I download Abzu. That was one of the free games, like play at home games. Horizon's coming, the complete edition, so I can play the DLC. My save files, the backwards compatibilities all worked pretty seamlessly. Just had to manually hit select all and download the console. It wasn't a big deal. It's been a good experience, but it's not gonna make me not buy a Series X. Like, I'm gonna have a Series X, and if I didn't upgrade my PC, I'd have one and T wouldn't right now. Like, I would have the PlayStation 5 and the Series X right now, but because of the timing of it, that's how it ended up. It's not because I hate the Xbox. I don't love the current UI. I haven't loved it since the year plus it's been this version. But a year and a half ago, I was trying to convince Robert that he was wrong. I was like, man, this Xbox UI is great, dude. Look at all the stuff. Well, if I have to customize it, then it's not good. I'm like, that's the whole point. The whole point is you customize it. That they're not going to tell you what you should have on your UI. They want you to decide what works for you, because there's no one size fit all option. And I really enjoyed it. Then they updated it. It's different in ways I don't like, and I still don't like it. But the point is, when any company, if Sony comes out in the next 3 years and they have barely any exclusive games, their game development just like is nothing, dries up, I'm gonna call them out on it. If Microsoft starts rolling out games in 2022 and it just doesn't stop, I'm gonna give them credit for it. I just don't have that gene to hate something because I have something else. And another thing I want to say is, to the people that call me a Sony pony or whatever, I've never had a PlayStation exclusive in my top two since The Last of Us in 2013. That's the last time a PlayStation exclusive made my top 2 game of the year list, since 2013. So we've had 7 years since then. Xbox, I've had 2 Microsoft games. I had Forza Horizon 4 and Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Will of the Wisp was my number 1 officially. I think for me now, Immortals has surpassed it. I like Immortals more, but at the time of the Game of the Year podcast, it was my Game of the Year. It's a nearly perfect game, I think. But I'm just having more enjoyment with Immortals. And Forza Horizon 4, it's like that's where I draw the line. If your hate for something, whether the original or there's parts that are true, like genuine, but if your hate's so strong that you can't even acknowledge a great game on another system, that's when I check out immediately. I can't imagine hating on Forza Horizon 4 and Ori because they're on Xbox because I like the PlayStation 4 Pro and now the PS5. I can't imagine not playing those games because they're on Xbox. Like, I just don't understand. It's not an opinion, it's reviewing a game. Can't review a game without beating it. That was the whole Retro Death. I love how you talk about me picking and choosing. forgetting facts. I'm talking about reviewing a game without beating it. That was that whole discussion. You can get a feel for a game like in an hour. Like Control, I played Control and Gears 5 and Metro Exodus. I gave them all 1 hour, and I was like, whatever game gets its hooks in me, I'm going to keep playing for the game of the year 2019. And it was Control. Immortals, I knew playing the demo in 10 minutes, like, oh, this could be really cool. As long as it's a polished game, there's no major problems with it, I was going to pick it up. And then it went on sale right away. It was perfect. But yeah, Retro Death and I, we have our back and forth, and it's like he accuses me of picking and choosing things I've said, and that's like completely yeah, you can't. The whole argument was you can't review a game without beating it. And he said you could review a game after only playing it for, what, 5 minutes, 5 hours, whatever it was. It was just stupid. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. It's going on an hour. I'm going to get ready, play some Resident Evil 8. I'm going to live stream that from the PS5. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Let me know what you think. If you have a video response, if you want to continue the games you never beat, maybe you can put a different spin on it. That would be cool. Let me know. I'll check it out. And what do you guys think? Nintendo fans, how many Xbox and PlayStation YouTube channels are you subscribed to, or people you follow on Twitter? Like, I never saw the need. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And we'll see some of you probably in a little bit. So